All right, so now we're going to start the RSS recipes, and we're going to talk about this a little bit first. So, what are the RSS recipes are going to be used for blog syndication. Now, this is where we can use the IFTTT SEO networks for, instead of just for YouTube SEO and for ranking videos, we can use it to rank our websites as well. And this works incredibly well, guys. It requires content marketing for it to be successful. You have to publish posts to your blogging, and pretty much on a consistent and regular basis, depending on the level of competition that you're trying to rank for. And then we're going to talk about more like strategies, how to use these networks and stuff in the advanced training section. But for right now, I just wanted to give you an overview of what the RSS syndication or RSS recipes for blog syndication are about. Now, your blog has an RSS feed. Your website, if it's a self-hosted WordPress site, it's going to be yourdomain.com/feed. Okay, that's going to be your RSS feed. And feeds are populated by your most recent blog posts, not pages, posts. If you have pages that you want to include in the feed, you have to add a plugin like RSS includes pages or something like that. But I don't recommend that. You should be using the blog to update content regularly, and you should be using that as your content distribution engine, which is going to be, again, it's going to be post-driven or blog-driven, and your RSS feed is going to contain your most recent posts. That's what IFTTT looks for. IFTTT, when you set up RSS recipes, it actually checks your RSS recipe every 15 minutes or so, roughly, and it looks for new items. And when it finds a new item, then that's what is the trigger. That triggers the recipe to fire and publish or republish, based on the recipes we're going to build, that same piece of content out to the other properties. Okay? So, that said, first of all, we want to make sure that, and by the way, you can use the RSS recipes with anything that has an RSS feed, but you have to consider what the output looks like. So when you look at your feed output, and here's a little hint, go to Firefox and look at whatever RSS feed you want to use, and you'll see what the feed output looks like, because Firefox has a native feed reader. If you look at it in Chrome, it's going to look like a bunch of code. It's just an XML format. But if you look at it in Firefox, you're going to see it like an HTML format. So it'll show you what it's going to appear, what it looks like. But anything that has an RSS feed, you can use as a trigger with these RSS recipes. However, if it's, for example, if we were to use like Delicious or Diigo, which has an RSS feed, both of those have RSS feeds. If you were to use that as a trigger, then since it's just a bookmarking site, all it's going to be really doing is republishing links, because that's all a bookmark is. And because of that, you could get your network properties terminated, because it's going to look very, very spammy. So I don't recommend that you use just anything with an RSS feed as a trigger. I recommend that you use your main blog or one of your supporting blogs or your network blogs like Blogger, Tumblr, WordPress, potentially Weebly and Medium as well. Okay, so I just wanted to kind of give you a little overview first what the RSS recipes are for, and you're gonna see here, because we're gonna walk through this. But when republishing your posts from your blog to other properties, you're going to need attribution. You're going to need to attribute the source. You're going to have to cite the source that the post was originally published on. And that's, first of all, there's a legal aspect. If you were publishing content from other people's blogs and you weren't citing the source, you could get a cease and desist order or a copyright infringement notice, because you're infringing on somebody's copyright. So there's a legal aspect to it, number one. Number two, it takes care of any potential duplicate content issues, because you're citing the source where the content was originally published. You're giving credit where credit is due. Okay, and also the attribution link is what gives it the SEO value. Okay, if we're publishing full text posts, yes, you can have links within the body of the post itself, which that has SEO value. But the attribution link in itself is going to be linking back to the original source, which is going to be your blog post on your main money site. And so there's SEO value there, because it's going to pass link equity as well as credit to your blog, to the original blog post on your website. So attribution link is required. Now, fortunately, WordPress does this by default now. They didn't used to. But by default now, WordPress, the RSS feeds, it's just natively coded into the feed, will actually have a attribution link back to the original source from any feed item, any item that's detected in your RSS feed. It used to be that that wasn't the case, and we had to use a plugin Yoast SEO plugin has the attribution quality or ability. It has an attribution function that you can turn on and activate and use. But we also coded one at Semantic Mastery specifically for our use that gave us a little bit more control over a few key functions that we're going to talk about here in a minute, because I'm going to show you what that does. And lastly, so either way, you've got to make sure that you've got an attribution link. Again, if you're by default, WordPress has that now, so you're okay. The Yoast SEO plugin will give you that ability to code in a or to turn on the attribution link function for your RSS feed as well. But there's a drawback to both of those options, and that's that the posts are truncated. They're not full text posts, and so there's kind of an upside and a downside to that. The downside is that you can't post the full post, so it's not going to look as good on your syndication network properties, the blogs, because that's really all we're publishing the full post to, right? Blogger, Tumblr, WordPress, potentially Medium and Weebly as well. Those are blog properties, so you want full text posts going to them. When the posts are truncated, then it's just a snippet, just a small amount of text from the top of the post that gets posted, and then there's the link to read more, which is the attribution link that links back to the original content source. The idea is that it's supposed to take people from the places that the RSS feed is being republished to click on that attribution link and go back to the original content source. So they do this because they want to bring people back to the original content source to view the content where it was originally published. So they're trying to be good about that. Like they're trying to do a good thing by directing people back to the original content source for people to read it. But you lose the SEO value, first of all, of being able to syndicate links from within the content. And again, all of this is going to be covered in the advanced section, but I have to go over this first so that you understand what we're looking at here. But also, it makes your branded properties, especially for blog syndication, if you're doing using a branded network, it makes those blog properties not look as good because they're not going to have full text posts. They're going to have these little short snippets with a link back to the original source. So I don't like to do that. I'd rather have the full control of having a full text post being republished. And our plugin, fortunately, the SMRSS plugin, does allow us to check a box in the plugin options or settings, and it will republish the full post, the full text post. Okay, so we're going to walk through each of these very quickly here in just a moment. But I just wanted to kind of talk about that a little bit. One thing I do want to mention, I have to qualify this statement. This Semantic Mastery or SMRSS plugin is not supported. We coded the plugin for us for our own internal uses, and we decided to give it away with the IFTTT training. It's not a supported plugin because we're not selling a plugin. We are not plugin developers. We're not selling a plugin. You guys are not buying a plugin. You're buying a training course that we're throwing in the ability to use our plugin if you'd like. But if you have problems with the plugin, we're not supporting it, period. Okay, if you have a server with an outdated PHP version, or potentially you could have other plugins causing it could be not working because of PHP version being out of date on your host, on your server from your host. It could be you have plugin conflicts or theme conflicts. There's a number of reasons why our SMRSS plugin may not work for you. And we are not going to help you to solve that problem because it is not we're not selling a plugin, guys. We're selling a training course. If you want to use our plugin, you're free to use it. It works for 95% of people, but there is that small amount of people that it doesn't work for, and they request us to support it, and we're not going to. We're going to flat out tell you we're not selling a plugin. We're selling a training course. If it doesn't work for you, use one of the alternative options, okay? I just have to clarify that right up front. So, and the last way is if for whatever reason, and if you're not using a WordPress, self-hosted WordPress site is your main money site, we can actually code attribution into the recipe, and we'll talk about that too in one of the following videos here when we create a recipe. All right, so let's go ahead and log into a WordPress dashboard real quick so I can show you. This is a demo site that I set up for this. I use it for a lot of different testing, stuff, whatever. But this is a demo site, okay? And if we go take a look at it, you'll see I just posted just a test post on it, or essentially I went ahead and found a post on BuzzSumo, and I posted it on here. just so that I had content on the blog. Let me make this real clear, guys. When setting up RSS recipes, which we're going to do in the next video, you have to have your RSS feed has to contain at least one item. You can't take a brand new website with no content on it and then try to create RSS recipes using the RSS feed. IFTTT will tell you that the feed doesn't work or that it's invalid feed. So there has to be content, at least one post posted to the blog in order for the RSS feed to work in IFTTT, number one. Number two, and let's go take a look at this. By the way, RSS feeds, you can test them in Firefox. Like I said, it's going to give you like an HTML version of it instead of just XML. The other thing is this right here is your site title. You have to have a site title in order for IFTTT to accept your RSS feed. So let me show you where that is. In the actual WordPress site, go to Settings in General, and then right here where it says Site Title, just make sure you have a title in there. Okay, because if that is empty, then IFTTT is going to tell you it's an invalid feed. Okay, so you got to make sure the site title is there, and you have to make sure at least one post is there. So now we're looking at the default feed from WordPress right now. Okay, so you can see, I'll just hit F5, Control F5, refresh. This is bigbamboomobile.com/feed, and you can see that this is what it looks like by default from WordPress now. It's a truncated post. You can see over here on the original, look how long this post is. And all we're seeing over here in Firefox is this small amount of text here, and then it says continue reading, and it uses the title as the rest of the anchor text. So continue reading plus title is the anchor text, and this link links to that piece of content. If we click on this, it's going to take us directly to that article. You can see the post URL up here. Okay, so that's the attribution link that's automatically coded, and again, the title does the same thing. It links to, uses the title as the anchor text, and it links to that specific post URL. All right, so that's the native version of WordPress as the attribution. And again, there's an upside to it. The upside is those of you that are newer to building, to SEO, by not posting the full text post, you don't have to worry about any internal links from inside the content being republished across the network and possibly causing over optimization of anchor text links pointing back to your pages or whatever on your site. And again, we're going to talk about link building with IFTTT networks and using your blog, link building through content marketing in the advanced training. But so there, the upside is you don't have to worry about that. The downside is for those of you that are more advanced with SEO that want the full text post to post so that you can use the links that you put in the body of your posts in a more strategic manner and have more effect, then that you're unable to do so with the current WordPress setup. Okay, so the Yoast plugin, if we go back and take a look at the Yoast plugin, let me get rid of a couple of these. If we go back and take a look at the Yoast plugin settings, if you had, I don't know, if for whatever reason your blog is showing a full text post and it does not showing the default attribution link, then let me show you. Under the Yoast SEO plugin, once you have it installed and activated, you'll see it over here. You're going to come over here and go to, I believe it's Advanced. It's been a while since I've been in here. Yeah, and under Advanced, you go to RSS. And here is where you would put, this feature is used to automatically add content to your RSS. More specifically, it's meant to add links back to your blog and your blog posts so that scrapers will automatically add these links to you, helping search engines identify you as the original source of the content. This is your attribution link. Okay, so I have in the text file over here, I have the attribution text that we would put in there, and you can see that on this page you have the ability to put the attribution either above the content or below the content. So let's just go ahead and paste this in. They have what's called tokens down here as well. So this and it explains what these tokens are. I don't really need to explain this to you guys. You guys can read this. But if I just have, say, see original article here, and then it's got the post link token, it's going to take the title of the article or the post, and it's going to link to the post URL with that title as the anchor text. So if we click Save Changes now, and we come back over here, and we click Control F5, now you're going to see how it inserted see original article here, and it's got 4 expert tips for making the most of an affiliate network, which is the title, and it links back to the original source. But so does this title link and so does this. So it's really unnecessary when it's showing this truncated post like this. And the other thing I don't like about it is it's a no follow link. You know, we're linking back to our own blog. We kind of want the do follow link, right? So the standard WordPress version, like by default, you don't need an attribution plugin anymore. But I'm not crazy about it, and I'm not crazy about the Yoast plugin. So that's why we created our own. Let me show you how this works real quick. Let's go ahead and get rid of this. We don't need that anymore. I'll click save. The RSS plugin, the download instructions or link will be in the description area of this video. But all you do is insert the plugin or install the plugin, click activate. There's very little to do here. You can see that there's, just like the Yoast plugin, content to be displayed before the feed or after the feed goes here or here. Okay, I usually go after the feed. It's going to give you a custom feed URL. So right now the feed URL is yourdomain.com/feed. But what our plugin does is gives you the ability to create another feed, or it's a whole new feed, okay, with the settings that we're going to set here. So you can put a keyword in here or a brand name or whatever you want, because it's going to give you a custom slug. The custom slug or feed URL is going to be yourdomain.com/feed/ whatever you put right here. So let's just say, I'm just going to call this one demo. And you'll see that now my new feed is going to be bigbamboomobile.com/feed/demo when I'm done setting this up. What I also like about our plugin, besides the fact that we get our own custom feed URL, is that we can put spin tags in here, which means anybody that knows what spinning is, it gives us the ability to create a lot more unique versions of text. And so you can see right here, I've got in spin tags where I say original post, or originally published, or source, or post source, or article source, read more, learn more, see more, read full article, see full article, here, post link. So it will select at random one of these versions when it creates the attribution link. So this is just basically, this is RSS plugin spin tags that we, it's just some demo spin tags, but we're going to post this in. I'll put this at the content to be displayed after the feed. That's where I typically have the attribution link. And then you'll see where it says no follow. You can select it to be no follow or follow. I'm going to leave it at follow. And lastly, full post. You see this? By checking this, this is going to give us the ability to publish the full entire post. Okay, with all the internal links, with the videos, anything else that's inside that post is going to publish. So I'm going to click publish content. Once this updates, now we can come over here and we can put demo on the end of this slug, or the end of this URL, and click enter. And now take a look. You see how the full post shows? Don't worry about the formatting. It looks like it's the formatting didn't come through, but I don't think that's an issue when it republishes on other posts. If so, I might have to update the plugin. But anyways, the point is you can see now originally published here, and there's my attribution link, which is a do follow link, and inside the content is all the media that we had. So if we had a video, the video would show here as well. And then, well, let me show you one other thing. If I click Control F5, scroll down again, you'll see that this content right here is changing because of our spin tags. So this right now, it says original post here. If I do Control F5 again, I'll scroll down. Now it says learn more here. Control F5 again. Come down, it's going to say see more here. And so each time, each feed in the item is, or each item, excuse me, in the feed is going to have a different version of anchor text before the attribution link, which is going to just give it some more uniqueness. Okay. So, and the last part is, like I said, when we come over to creating the recipes, which we're going to do in the next video, we're going to create a couple RSS recipes. You'll see that the alternative way is to code attribution into the recipe for those of you that are using non-WordPress sites. So let me just clarify that. For those using non-WordPress sites. An alternative way is to code the attribution in the recipe. So we'll talk about that in the next few videos. So hopefully that makes sense, guys. You can download our plugin. We have a premium version too for our mastermind members that has some other pretty cool functions in it that the free version, or the light version, which is what is available in IFTTT SEO Academy, doesn't have. Maybe in advanced training I'll show you some of that stuff. But we'll see you in the next video.